All right. Welcome in, Taurus rising, Taurus sun. And if you happen to have Uranus in the second house the day you were born, you're only going to know that if you have your natal chart or your birth chart from going to cafeastrology.com. All right. So this is going to be an informational video to give you an idea of what's going to happen for you over the next 7 years. Kind of wished I had known this 7 years ago when I was coming through the 12th house, when Uranus was in Taurus. But here we are. At least I know it now, right? So now I'm going to share this information with you. So let's start off with second house. Money. Now, not just money, but it's your internal values as well. So for the rising sign, okay, let's talk a little bit about that. This hits core stability, all right, the core of your exterior. So it's not going to be chaotic. And it will not be in an emotional way, but it's going to be very real and practical. So that'll be your exterior influences. Okay, so I'll get into that a little more further into the video. So basically it'll be money, income, your self-worth, and what you rely on to feel secure. For the sun signs, we're looking at value, how you value stability, the consistency, and long-term stability. So the exact area that you want to feel stable in becomes flexible and unpredictable for you. So let's talk a little bit about the second house and what it actually rules, so you guys get an understanding. So this is your income. It's how you make your money. It's the financial stability, and it's personal resources, your self-worth and your confidence, what you value and rely on. Okay, so with Uranus being in this house, you can't rely on one steady path anymore. Okay, so it's going to need to change. It's going to shift up for you. So let's talk a little bit about what happens. So income becomes unpredictable. Money flow is going to fluctuate for you. So 1 month, you could find yourself, you're doing really well. Income's up. Everything's going great. Another month, it's going to dip. So there's going to be the highs, there's going to be the lows. You're going to find yourself not relying on one paycheck. So whether that means you find yourself in a partnership with somebody where there's additional resources, or you branch off doing some sort of side hustle or something like that, to where you have, another paycheck coming in other than just the one that you depend on. So basically, multiple income streams start to emerge for you. You will start earning money by different avenues, okay? So like I was saying, you're going to be looking at side hustles. You might do freelance work. Maybe there's online work you start doing. Something you do with YouTube, or you have a website that you create to where you draw traffic into that website for whatever your services are that you do. So basically turning skills or hobbies into money. So your hobby just isn't going to be your hobby. The skills that you know aren't just going to be your skills. You're going to turn it into something more profitable for yourself. You're going to shift towards modern digital, like I was saying. we are coming into digital with AI. Everything is more online now. It's going to be quicker. And so this is where, everything shifts quicker for you. Instead of doing things more manually or more hands-on, you're going to find ways to do these hobbies or these side hustles in more digital way. So what happens here? Traditional income paths are going to feel limiting. Like I was saying, you can't do everything you were doing the way you were doing it. It needs to be more advanced, in a more technical way, digital technical way. So online business, content creation, tech-related work. So you're going to monetize ideas, communications, or skills. All right. So it's just different avenues you're going to find yourself breaking out into. So sudden financial decisions. You're going to take risks that you normally wouldn't take. So we all know Taurus is a little slower at making these types of decisions, a little slower at moving towards new ideas, new ways. You're slow and steady. You take your time. Uranus is going to be very quick. It's going to be sudden. Something's going to happen that's going to cause you to pivot going in a different direction. So you're going to find yourself investing differently. You might suddenly quit a job, okay? And then suddenly you're going to start something new. You're going to find yourself managing money differently than you did before, okay? You're going to start redefining your self-worth. You stop trying to value stability alone. So you realize, I don't need one fixed path to be secure. I know that, like I was saying, Taurus likes to have that one focus, right? I have that one job, that one career, that one path, and I'm on it and I'm comfortable. I like feeling stable. Now you're going to find yourself feeling a little off kilter because you're gonna feel yourself branching out in other areas that you're not used to, and it's going to happen a little quicker than you're used to. So you're going to also let go of outdated financial habits. So this is just basically old ways of earning and saving. They're not going to work for you anymore. And when you find out it doesn't work for you, that's when you start to change your ways up. You start to go more digital, turning hobbies into financial avenues, things like that. So leaving a job that feels safe but limiting, like I was saying, you're not gonna continue on those same paths anymore. So your budget, the way you spend, all of that is going to change. You're gonna let go of all those old ways. So for Taurus sun signs, this is definitely more internal for you, okay? Where the rising sign, everything I just talked about, with the change up in the hobbies and monetizing in the way you physically do things, exterior, that's going to be very prominent for you. But the sun signs, this is more internal. It's more your value. You're going to feel tension, okay? You're going to be forced to grow. So basically, we all know Taurus likes the stability. You like things to be, you like the predictability of it. You like the comfort, right? You like things to be just as they are, right? If it's not broke, you don't want to fix it. So Uranus in Gemini for you internally is going to bring change, okay? Movement, unpredictabilities, the things that you're not comfortable with. So internal stress around money and security, you're going to feel it internally. Uneasy, okay? It's an uneasy feeling that you aren't feeling stable. So basically the fluctuation in income is going to make you feel anxious at first, where I said, if you have a good month where income's doing good and then it dips, whether it's, the 401k, whatever investments you're doing, or if you're, in business for yourself, you have a great month, the next month you don't. Internally, you're going to feel really anxious about that. So you're going to learn through your Gemini being in Uranus during the next 7 years, the flexibility. So it'll be slow, but it'll be a powerful learning experience for you. It isn't, you got 7 years, my friend. You have 7 years to get through this uncomfortable of the ups and downs and being able to adapt to not being, for things being inconsistent. It's going to take time for you to do that. So basically, over time, you will realize flexibility actually creates more opportunities for you, okay? So, you don't want to have any missed opportunities because you're being stuck and stable, right? If something new comes your way, a new opportunity, instead of being stuck and stable and saying, no, I kind of like where I'm at. It feels really safe. It's something I've been doing for the last 7 years. I'm very comfortable with it. You're going to have to change your ways and say, well, you know what? Maybe I will dabble into that. Maybe I will change up. And then that will open up the door for more opportunities. You don't want to miss that. So basically, redefining what security means. Your security becomes internal. It's not just financial. So you, over the past 7 years, you may have just been focusing on actual possessions, monetization of hobbies and such. You may realize that you stop chasing money so much because over the next 7 years, you'll realize I'm doing okay. I feel comfortable. So if you're comfortable internally, the external will automatically already feel comfortable to you. You won't feel like you need to have XYZ amount in the bank to feel like you're important or you're valuable or you feel comfortable. So you're going to trust your ability to create income during the next 7 years. You're going to have, you're going to be smarter financially with your decisions over time. You become more strategic, more innovative. You learn to manage multiple income streams effectively, okay? Because you are used to the one way, you know what I mean? And now it's, Gemini is multiple things, now it's, okay, you can still have your steady 9-to-5 job, but you might start turning your hobby or your passion. You're going to slowly dabble into that, working into it, and then combining the two slowly. All right. So in other words, you're going to have your your Monday through Friday job. And then on the weekend, you might start dabbling into your hobbies and start whatever that is. You might take something that you do. I don't know, maybe you know how to build things, or you're good at doing music, and then you'll start putting that online through some sort of platform, YouTube, TikTok, whatever that may be, because there's going to be new platforms, emerging over the next 7 years. So there could be more than just these basic platforms that we're on. You'll start to put those hobbies and activities online and start making digital income from it. And that's where you'll start to build long-term wealth in a new way. You're just going to move away from traditional paths, all right? Like I said, instead of one career, you're going to layer it up, like I was saying. So that'll happen. Now, with so if some of you are a rising sign and a sun sign of Taurus, so the combination of these two with Uranus being in the second house, so not only will your finances change externally for you, you will be, you'll feel a sense of security being challenged internally. All right. So you're going to say to yourself, I can't rely on one stable path anymore. I have to build security differently, is what you're going to be saying to yourself over the next 7 years. You're going to wake up and realize, the external, internal work together. And like I said, some will stop chasing so much money. Others will start branching out and chasing it in other avenues. So what is this going to look like for you in the timeline of the 7 years? So in the early phases, the first year and a half to 2 years, you're going to feel financial discomfort. It'll be unpredictable. Okay, like I said, the ups and the downs. There's going to be resistant to change. That's not surprising, Taurus. You do not like change. And when you do change, it is very slow. And that's okay. That is you. That is your process. That is what works for you. The main goal here is to move slowly, but continue to move. Even though Uranus, being in the sign of Gemini is quick, fast, and rapid, you taking steps, even if it's 1 or 2 a year, that is still rapid for you because you don't like to move at all. So by the middle phase, you will start experimenting with the income streams. Okay, so you're going to be in the beginning a little slow, a little rough. You're going to feel uncomfortable, but then you're going to start to come out of that. And then you're going to start to experiment because you're going to be forced to come out of that uncomfortable phase of not wanting to move and pivot in different directions. You will start to let go of rigid financial expectations. Okay, then what I mean is having that one path, having that one job, having that one career, that one side hustle. Instead of you putting all of your expectations on that one avenue, because it may not work. We have to realize sometimes we go after passions and hobbies and careers and it isn't working for us. So instead of holding on to it and being rigid and saying, no, I'm expecting this one hobby path or passion to make me XYZ amount of money, I expect to be here in 7 years, you're going to loosen up your rigid ways on that, okay? By the middle phase, you'll start to loosen up, which is a good thing. We're all learning to change in different ways with this planet moving in to the sign of Gemini. So on the peak phase, so you're going to start doing major shifts in how you earn. It's actually going to start happening for you. Your independence will be increased. So maybe you'll stop relying on other people and hobbies, jobs, careers to make you feel independent. You will start to just feel more independent on your own. The final phase, you're going to be more flexible, diverse financial systems, right? Stronger internal sense of security. This is huge for you, Taurus. This is huge. You do not like to move. So what could the main challenges and risks be for you if you don't adapt to this change that we're all going to go through over the next 7 years? You're going to hold on to stability too tightly. All right? Don't do that. The fear of change leading to missed opportunities. Like I said earlier, you don't want to put the blinders on and put the expectations on one path, one route. If you do, you could miss something that could launch you into more stability with your financials during this time, okay? Because like I said, we're moving into a digital world. Everything's AI. It's quicker, it's faster. Everybody needs to do things more quickly. You don't like to move quickly. We know that. If you don't move into the flexibility and change of this, the stress from your financial endeavors being unpredictable, it will be unpredictable for you. All right, so you're going to experience too much stress if you hold on too tightly and you miss opportunities. You're going to find yourself stressed out, okay? So how to use this transit. So remember, the goal isn't to lose your stability. We want everybody to remain stable because Taurus, you like to be stable. I know. Steady as she goes. It's just to modernize it, all right? That's what's happening. We're all going into a new modern age, and we are all doing it in different houses over the next 7 years differently. What you want to do is keep your long-term mindset. So hold the vision you have. You're going to go about that long-term vision differently, not as you've been doing it the past 7 years. All right? Allow for flexible methods. I know this is a hard one. I get it. I know. I'm a fixed sun sign. The house that I'm about to go into, we all are going to have struggles through each of our houses in different ways, especially if we have fixed energy. So I get that. So overall, build multiple income streams instead of one fixed job. Okay? That's the best way to use this transit, because you have to remember the truth. Gemini is being adaptable. So Gemini energy is the shapeshifter, they're the chameleon. They're used to fluctuating in different ways, and that's what this transit wants you to do. Uranus is disruption. It's going to disrupt you. You're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to move. So you're being taught that real security comes from being adaptable, not consistency. All right. So, whatever you've been doing the past 7 years or your entire life is going to need to change up. The final takeaway for you, this is financial and self-worth reset. So rising, how you actually deal with your financials in an exterior way is what's changing. Sun sign, it's going to be your self-worth, how you, it's not all the possessions you have that make you important. It's not how much money you have in your bank account that makes you worthy. You're going to realize that. You're going to be opening yourself up to the fact that money doesn't make you worthy. It's just you internally. It's a feeling of making your internal self feeling worthy. By the end of this whole entire 7-year phase that you're going to be going through, and all of us are going through it through different houses in different ways, but for you, you're going to be less dependent on one source of income, more confident in your ability to create stability, and financially smarter in a challenging world. Okay? So let's get you some oracle messages. Let's go with, first off, the higher self messages. I think, it's funny. I think now that I've picked these two decks, because higher self messages, I feel like could be really for the rising sign. And then the sacred soul, which is interesting, because I didn't realize this when I did this for the Gemini reading. The sacred soul is like the sun sign. It's the internal. And I picked these two decks, not, I guess, consciously realizing that. It was more subconscious. So, but anyway, both messages can still apply to both the rising and sun. But I just thought that was interesting. So let's go to the higher self for Taurus. What messages do we have before we close this out? You are a beacon for others to follow. So don't hide the bright light that you are. You going through this change is going to show others that even though you are a fixed sign and you're very stable, you're going to show that you can get through this, and that even a fixed sign can learn to break out of one way of thinking, one way of doing something. The light is within you, okay? You have it within you to do more and become more. Because, you got to remember, like I was saying, holding on to one path or one stream of income could be holding you back. Because you got to remember, I know, Taurus, you like your financial stability, you like, your comforts, but you could really be missing out on more of the possessions and the stability and the financials by staying rigid through this transit. And we don't want you to miss out. And you're going to show people that by breaking out, you're capable of more than what you're currently doing. Let's go to the sacred soul messages. What message do we have here for Taurus? The moon is bright when it doesn't avoid the night. Right off the bat, before I finish reading this, okay? So there's the light here, right? But there's also the light from the moon. So that is the sun and the moon is the balanced energy. The sun is the out. It's the masculine energy. It's the day-to-day. It's us getting up. It's getting our shower, going to work, right? Doing, physically going online and doing, your investments, right? It's physically doing things. The moon is the internal, which is amazing because it's the internal feminine energy of the feeling of the self-worth, okay? The moon is bright when it doesn't avoid the night, so not avoiding your internal shadows. Hang in there, okay? Be patient with yourself. You are on the right track, okay? So just know going through this transit, this is correct for you, all right? You are a beacon of light. Going through the shadow, going through the internal phase of this, putting your self-worth internally, knowing that you don't always have to chase money. And if you do, being a rising sign, you have the capability of doing it through a passion, through a hobby, not just one way, not just one job where you're getting the regular yearly increase that might not keep up with inflation. So if there's a hobby and there's something you enjoy, start turning that into something you can monetize on the weekend, or 1 hour out of the evening and a couple of hours out of the weekend. I'm not saying you have to spend 24/7 focusing on the day job and a side hustle. You got 7 years, my friend, to start working through this. But if you know this now, so if this reading comes or this video comes to you now, even though I'm saying the first year can be about you resisting, if you come across this video, maybe you'll realize that you don't need to resist so much in the beginning phase. You will realize by branching out to different avenues and not being so resistant to change, you might actually change your income through your hobbies, that extra side hustle. That might happen sooner for you if you come to this and realize what's happening for you. Okay, so this is another reason why I'm doing these informational videos, is so people can understand what's happening. I did not understand what was happening to me when I was in the 12th house the past 7 years. I didn't truly realize what that was until just recently. Now, I knew I was going through changes, but I didn't know like I know now. I wish somebody had told me, or I had known this 7 years. So if you come across this, just know you can work with this energy sooner than, say, I did when I was in the 12th house, of my subconscious mind, my spirituality, the hidden secrets, it was deep, it was dark, it was internal change, and it was uncomfortable. But I wished I had known that. I would have been able to work with it better. So, Taurus, I hope you find this helpful. If this resonates with you, hit the like button, share, drop a comment, subscribe, and also if you feel somebody else could benefit from this information, another Taurus sign, share it. I love you guys. Looking forward to doing readings and tapping into your energy over the next 7 years to kind of see where you're at, where your struggles are, and good luck. This all starts April 25th. Till then, I'll talk to you soon.